Hi, Tita. Thank you for being with us today and sharing your experience as an entrepreneur of Economy of Communion.
It is my joy and privilege. Thank you.
Hmm. Can you please introduce yourself, your professional background, and your company?
Okay, so I'm Tita Puangco from the Philippines. And my background originally was as a journalist and a media practitioner. And then eventually I joined big corporations in, uh, in manufacturing and then in banking. And then I met the economy of communion. So I resigned and decided to build an organization development company. At the same time, teaching at the Asian Institute of Management. So that is my background.
Thank you. Very interesting. So, can you please share with us what was you living when Kara Lubick launched the Economy of Communion and what it meant to you?
Yes, I listened to the presentation of the economy of communion when the responsible for the Philippines came back. And I was then vice president of one of the leading banks in the Philippines. And really, I've been asking myself, what is there more to life? It seemed like one has everything. And then when I heard the talk on the economy of communion, I understood that so this is what God is calling me at this moment in my life. So I thought through what I can do, and I decided to talk to my husband about it. At first, some members of my family thought it was a crazy idea for me to do. But I told them that it is something I'd like to commit to. I was age 40 when it happened. So, and my decision is right.
Beautiful. So far, the interviews I have done with Economy of Communion pioneers have been all men. You are the
Mm.
first woman entrepreneur I have interviewed of your generation. And I think it's understandable because of the economic life and roles in society have been
Mhm.
organized. No? So, how was your experience of balancing your role as entrepreneur and wife and mother?
Well, I am fortunate because my husband is a true partner. So my husband said, okay, he has a good job. So at that time, he was operating a bus company and it was doing well. And he said, okay, go ahead, we'll take the risk. So go and start this company if you wish. And then also, I've always done what I've done before, even when I was in a professional job, to really make sure that my weekends are spent with my children. So when I get home, I spend time with them. And what is good in the Philippines is I have a relative, the aunt of my husband, who stays with the children during working hours. So it was good to have her around. But I made sure that we always have days going out. And also for me an opportunity to talk to each one of them, to ask them, so what is happening? How was school today? And I really enjoyed their small stories. I want them to feel that I am a mom at home and not a professional. So spending time with them is great. And up to now, I still do that. They are all professionals, but once in a while, we agree on a specific date and we get to see each other. So I have a place in Tagaytay, which is cool and with a mountain, etc. And they spend time with me there on weekends. So they take turns or we all go together. Because I think unity is important even at this stage, that they are all professionals.
Beautiful. In your company's culture, I know you have the concept of being a helping hand. In what
Yes.
ways do you live it concretely?
Yeah. So first of all, we are a helping hand uh, to the clients, but also we have to be a helping hand also to the employees. So I remember that, for example, there is an employee who got sick and had to be hospitalized, right? And of course, the bill, because she had to stay for more than 2 weeks, the bill was quite big, no? So, um, of course, my consultants or my associates also have insurance, but it was not enough what insurance could provide. So, we give a certain amount to them coming from us personally. So here, let us help you get out of the hospital. And then our administrative officer, human resource officer would then say, okay, so what do you think in terms of payment? What is good for you? So we don't have any rules, like they could pay whatever amount they have for as long as they agree with the HR officer that that's how it's going to be. So it is not tough. It's not difficult at all. And I think this is the thing that we also do for others. Because remember the economy of communion, three things. One is to help the poor, the other is to spread the gospel, and a third goes to the company. So for us, helping the poor also includes some of our employees who may not be able to afford something at a certain stage in their life. So, and I think I really like it very much, this division, because it tells us that as entrepreneurs, um, we have the heart, not just the mind, not just the competence, but really the heart to be concerned about others.
Once you shared with me that economy of communion had transformed your vision about some things. Can you share with us how your relationship with money changed when you began to live the values of economy of communion?
Oh, it was a major change. When I was in my profession, uh, what was really very important, like I worked with one of the big conglomerates in the Philippines, and then I worked with a bank. One is so concerned about the benefits, concerned about um, seeing your salary rise, including your allowances, like this. But when I went into the economy of communion, I saw that really money is just a means to an end. And so I realized that I have to set aside money also for helping. So I have a helping fund. Every month, I set aside a certain portion of what I earn, not what company earns, my personal earnings, okay, and set it aside for helping people. I remember just recently there was this helper who helps me around in my place, cleans up for me, and I bring her to my other house and she cleans up. And one day, and she would sleep overnight in my place. And one night I saw her crying and crying. I said, "What is happening? What is happening?" My son, her son, who was in another province, okay, had an accident. He was riding a motorcycle. And then she was saying, he's so hurt. I'm afraid for him, like this. And then I said, okay, so why don't you go home? Go home tomorrow. Take the plane. And then she said, but I don't have any money. No, no, no. Money is not important. So I drew away from my funds, gave her money for the hospitalization of the son, and then including for her to take the plane to go to the place. And then after 1 or 2 days, she calls me and says, Mom, my son has died because the accident was really, really bad. But thank you because I had the opportunity to talk to him before he died. He's her eldest son. And uh, and then I said, so how is it? I will have to stay here for an additional week for the wake, etc., etc. And then I said, okay, I'm going to send you more money. What is the, in the hospital? How much do you owe, etc. And then when came back already working with me, and she has her salary, monthly salary, and then she was giving me 1,000 pesos every month. I said, no, no, this is for you. What I gave you is really part of my budget. So let us just thank the Lord for this providence. So these are the typical examples, no, where people are in need and they come to you. And then just the other day, a friend who knows my character texted me and said, there is this mother in the hospital who cannot go out because she doesn't have the 1,500 pesos that would pay for the, is it possible for you to provide this? I said, okay, okay. So I will put it in, what is this? Gcash, that's what we call it. And then I sent, and then I sent. And she came out yesterday from the hospital. So, the joy behind giving is so overwhelming that you do not really see the money anymore. What you just see is the grace of God flowing to those people who are in need. So this is my experience. And every time this happens. So for me, my concept of money has totally changed. In fact, one time my responsible, no, in the Focolare told me, Tita, you better save up. You are moving towards retirement. How can you be so generous? I said, I have it all planned. I have also my retirement fund. So don't worry. Don't worry about me. And and that's it. Right? I mean, because I ask myself, so what is money all about? So when you die, you leave everything behind. So I just want to make sure that all my children are doing well in their professions, right? And that they themselves are generous. I also teach them that. Have a fun. Have a fun. And then one of them asked me, is it mommy tithing that tithing 10% of what you can begin there. I said you can begin there. But always remember, I said that the gospel is true, right? That God is so generous with grace because you give back
Mm.
to Him in that person whom you helped. So this is my thinking.
And to finish our
Yes.
beautiful interview, beautiful because of your experience. So, which advice would you give to those who are starting their entrepreneurship experience with the values of economy of communion?
Mhm. Okay, my advice would be um, to start small if you don't have a big fund, right? Start small and uh, and experiment because there is a risk. There is a risk involved in it, and then of course the better way to raise funds is to have a concrete concept, right? And then try to sell it to people whom you think would appreciate the economy of communion. Because there could be really investors who could come in. And then from there, it is very good that you do proper management. I think this is very important. You know what I did is I got when people heard about the economy of communion, what I was setting up, I found partners. I found partners in Palo Alto, in New Jersey. They brought their technology into our company with them knowing that we pay only one third of the fees because the rest would have to enter into this split, no? And that is how our company really grew. So we were able to cover the whole of ASEAN, no? We do program in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. But of course now we're just focused on the Philippines after COVID. But this is the thing. Like sometimes I wonder, how did we get to meet all these guys who are so willing to give their technology to us? And I was, for example, reviewing the material that they have. One even had from Palo Alto had what is this learning module on climate change, and this was 3 years ago. And now here in the Philippines, we are experiencing that. So I know companies will appreciate getting to know how to develop resilience in the face of climate change. So somehow I think that's what I think I would advise is to really get to know the business that you're getting in. Like the reason why I went into the training and organization development what is this business is because I used to be vice president in the bank, no, for training and development. Also in the I used to be manager also for this manufacturing company, also in terms of trading. And do you know that I also when I was working in media, because I am a journalist by profession before, okay, that I was able to get a fellowship from USAID. So I trained in Chicago State University, Indiana, and Michigan State University. So um, learning organization development and corporate communication. So even that, those are gifts, right? Those are also gifts. Uh, Imagine you train and for free and you even have an allowance of $20 a day. Okay. So I feel that it is really God's design that I move into this area. So even for the entrepreneurs to listen deep in their hearts, you know, because if you have a noble goal, I think you will be able to perfect even the things that the steps that you will take towards that goal. I think that's all I can say.
Thank you, Tita, for your advice, for sharing with us your experience, but above all, for your life that shows concretely what it means to live the economy of communion. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Sarah. And I also thank God for the joy of being part of the economy of communion. Thank you. Thank you so much.